let's talk about character introductions. Part 2. Okay, so the way that you introduce a character depends a lot on their role in the game, how important are they, and on your budget. How many resources do you have, right? If we're talking about introducing the player character at the beginning of the game, that's a whole different set of rules from what we're going to talk about. And probably, I think it's a different video. But let's talk about NPCs, and we'll use 2 characters that I wrote. I worked on an RPG called Mass Effect 2, and I wrote these characters, Jack and Samara. They were party members, so it was pretty important for us to get a sense of who they are and be interested and intrigued by them pretty quickly. So the first thing to consider is, where do you find a character? The environment that you meet them in is very important. In Samara's case, we find her at a crime scene. She's investigating a murder and actually kind of starting to get into a fight with some of the people who may be guilty of the murder. And right away, that tells us something about her. What did they do to their environment? In the case of Jack, she was a prisoner on a spaceship, and she breaks out, and we're following her through the ship as she rampages, and she's destroying everything around her. This reveals a lot about her. Her influence and impact on her environment tells us about her. Not just that she's powerful, although it clearly tells us that, but it also reveals something about what's going on inside of her. In her heart and in her mind, she's turning her environment into a reflection of herself. Put them in a strong situation. When we meet a character, don't just have them sitting in the corner in a tavern or standing by the side of the road. Give them some kind of a situation that we walk into. So again, in the case of Samara, she's in a fight, and Samara is very reasonable. She's just saying, I don't want to hurt you, but do X, Y, and Z, and I will let you off, right? And when the person is unable to comply or won't comply, she kills them without a second thought. This is a strong situation that reveals something about the character. Don't just make it an exciting situation. It's got to reveal something to us. Now, again, we talked about budget. You may not have the budget to do a full cutscene, but you can still find a way, even if it's just in dialogue, to give us some kind of a strong situation. Next, I think, what is the hook? The simplest way to put it is, ask a question about the character and then don't answer it. Give us something to want to find out more about. So in the case of Jack, we're working for this organization called Cerberus that we already know is kind of shady, but when she finds out we're working for Cerberus, she's enraged. We don't know her history, we don't know what that's all about, and we don't tell you right away. Another important thing is what other characters say about a character. So before you ever meet them, if you can have another character tell you something about them, that immediately makes them more interesting. Even if the thing that the other character says turns out to not be true, that can actually add a whole nother level of interesting development later. And then finally, after all of that, what do they say? As we've said in the previous version, the lines that you write are the very last thing that hit the player, but they're still important. So that's going to be part 3, talking about what does the character say.